What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about a handful of stocks today. We're going to be going over TSM and EVRI for user TL6. Moving on from there, MicroStrategy for Christopher Murphy, LCID Lucid for James Thomas, and then finishing it up with TrueCar for Dr. Mike. We're going to be doing all those stocks for you guys today. Looking at TSM here, you know, from a high to low, all-time high to low, you had a nice double top here. Hit your 618, 69 extension, or retracement, I'm sorry. Found support on the 382, and now you're above it. This kind of look would promote the idea that you would see extensions, the minimum mark of which would be about 185, potentially up to 251. I want to see, yeah, and again, these numbers would be before you saw any kind of major pullback. You might do this along the way, but nothing like this, or maybe even nothing like this, like not a prolonged consolidation phase. Though this is, you know, several months. This, however, was like from January 2018, you didn't break out until September 2019, so well over a year, almost 2 years, in fact. So nothing quite like that, or nothing quite like this, probably until you see these extended zones, is what I would think. You don't have to. That's the likelihood. It is likely, especially breaking through on your second pass. That's a nice move right there, man. But you could form a lower high. It is possible. I just, statistically speaking, I would think you do continue higher. I want to see what you did here. When this was your all-time high for like almost a 2-year period there, from all-time high to low at that point in time, you hit your 1886, nice. Bounced, pulled back to your 786, nice, and then literally tipped at your 4618 extension. That's pretty cool. You might have even actually gone to your 4886, which would kind of make sense because you're at your 1886. Let's just put that on there. Just for shizzles and gizzles, man. 4.886. Very close. Like your all-time high right now did tip that. You had a slight higher high on your double top, and it literally did tip it right there. So, yes, got this. There we go. Let me think. So yeah, you could absolutely see deeper extensions here from, you know, beyond the 1618. You could go to the 1886 or even higher. But this is a much larger move than this was, right? This was a longer amount of time to find the low. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. January 2022 to October 2022, January 2018 to December, a little bit longer, but relatively close actually. The size of it, though, on the downside, that would lead me to believe that, you know, seeing a move all the way up to your 4618 is probably not in the cards. You know, you did that last time without seeing some kind of significant correction, but here, when you topped off at your 1886, you did get a significant correction relative to the moves that you've seen, you know, in recent times. This was a pretty significant correction, right? So maybe you go to your 1886, something like that, all the way up at 319. Maybe you stop at 185. That's the minimum target. I would say that's kind of your maximum target. Anything in between is like your free range zone. Oh man, oof! That's what I get for eating before coming on. Getting overbought in your RSI, it looks nice. You could come lower and be fine. Let's see. I kind of would think you do push on higher, though. I kind of would think that. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, the daily looks good, man. You do have bearish divergence presenting itself, though it's not confirmed. Yes, today was a red day, but still you closed 0.5% in the green, actually. No volume, which isn't necessarily encouraging. But if you keep building, I mean, this bearish divergence will go away. Even if you come down, it's like it's really fine. If you come down, I doubt you go too much below this low here. Like, truthfully, I really don't. I don't think you would go, I mean, at the lowest 105, you know, somewhere around there. But maybe not even that low. Maybe you find support around 110 or 115 even. You could have a small kind of correction from here, but nothing too dramatic. Let's just see. I mean, 107 right there, yeah, 107, 105, that area, that'd be your kind of like area to look for support, like at the lowest. If not, you might be continuing higher. You really might be. Kind of in the middle of this range. I mean, all in all, I definitely think you're going higher, but immediately, yeah, even immediately, I kind of think you're going higher. You might go to that 1414 and then take a break. But for now, I mean, everything looks good. And if you were to pull back from here, it's not going to be by much. I mean, you definitely have more to go. I think you're inevitably working your way up to these highs and then beyond. So that's TSM. As far as the short term goes, would it be crazy if you pulled back? No, it wouldn't really be too crazy because, again, that would just be kind of like a higher low. But could you continue going on with this? Absolutely, you could. You're very hot. You're very strong in your RSI. You could get hotter. You could definitely go higher. So as the weeks come, I bet you do go higher. As the days come, maybe you stagnate or move down for a little bit. But as the weeks and months come on, I think you have higher to go. I feel like I beat the hell out of that one, man. So let's move on to EVRI Holdings. EVRI Holdings Incorporated. I remember these guys. They hold everything. Let's see. Top. No, there we go. That wasn't it. That wasn't right. Come on now. You want to do it. It's like just missing it. There we go. 1272 hit. Broke below your 886. You actually found resistance on it. This would lead me to believe on a monthly scale looking at it that you would probably go to your 786. Generally speaking, whenever you see the extensions being hit, it can happen. You can bottom out wherever, don't get me wrong, but it's very common to bottom out either on the 886, 786, or the 618 down here. So, and it's more common to hit that 886 or 786. It's even more common to hit the 0.1 than it would be to hit the 618. So since you're below two of the more common ones, I would very much expect that you hold support at that 786. But that would imply that you're moving down. And what comes in line with that 786, you take the fibs away so there's less noise, it's easier to see all these areas of resistance previously. So you break out, find support on previous areas of resistance. It kind of makes sense to me, man. Let's look at the weekly. You do have bullish divergence. It's not confirmed. It's definitely not confirmed, but this RSI does have potential to do good things. It really does. But good things might only take you, up to like a 10% gain from here, and then you move down. I really do have faith that you're going to see prices below $10, probably around $9 before you continue to move up. Though to be fair, you could move up from here, generate yet again another lower high, and then move down. That something like that really could happen, especially with that bullish divergence on the weekly. It really could happen. But even if you do break above like $11 and you go all the way up here to like $14, don't get too excited, because again, until you break out of this like downtrend that you have, my opinion is you're destined for this line. You really are. So this would just prolong it. Better to just get it out of the way now, in my opinion. But I can be wrong. I can definitely be wrong. Looking at the daily, I would think you pursue lower prices, even with yesterday's kind of like bullish maneuver of a 0.3% gain. But you went down a lot and then you came up, relative to this thing. But the RSI in itself looks neutral but bearish, I would say. It had a bullish kind of building, and it's rolling over on that. So I would think it goes lower. I really do. You'll probably get that confirmation once you break below this like closing basis here at $9.99. You get a day to close below $9.99, not go below, because we already went below it today. I'm talking about close below $9.99. Then it's probably on. Yeah, look at this. This looks just like TSM, right? You hit your 618 area, found resistance at the 382, but on TSM you found resistance at the 618, found support on the 382. I would expect you see your extensions, yeah. 1618 golden extension right there around $9. Minimum would be $9.50. That fits that area that we're looking for, man. So I think you're going lower. I really do. Probably immediately, but if not, again, maybe you go as high as like $14 or something like that, which is a decent gain from here. But over time, you're probably going to see prices lower than this. I don't think you're done with this downtrend. I do think you're going to move up higher, but not until you see prices around $9. That's my $9.15, something like that. That's my opinion. So that's EVRI. Let's move on to MicroStrategy, right? That's what we're doing. MSTR. Man, I love MicroStrategy. Mainly because I like Michael Saylor. I know he's, some people like him, some people don't. I think, he's a historical figure in my opinion. One of the first like major VCs to really invest in Bitcoin. I mean, Roger Ver, I guess, would be one of the first major, but I would say he's a venture capitalist. But Michael Saylor's more of like a corporate kind of guy that like really like took things into his own hands as far as investing in Bitcoin went. Anyways, finding support on the 0.5, looking productive as hell, man. This is a nice little move that you got going on. Double bottom, coming out of this downtrend, forming your uptrend here. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty controlled. Is that the low? Maybe. Wouldn't be crazy. Wouldn't be crazy if you went lower than that. It wouldn't be crazy at all. I'm not drawing it from that low. I know that might sound or seem weird, but it's just like all these kind of line up together better. If I were to draw it from this low, I mean, to be fair, you're finding support on it now, but if you break that, which you probably will, like, who cares? That's also kind of why I hate these diagonal lines, man. The more relative ones right there, and if I draw it back to here, it's touching that. So could you go to your 0.5 down at about a $420 area? Sure. Somewhere around there makes sense to me. And then move up. 419.91, so about 420 is the 0.5, but you can go a little bit below it. That's fine. Do you break this low down here at like $320? Probably not. I don't think so. You don't break that. But maybe you go to 370, maybe you go to 420, something like that. I do think you're going lower. Daily RSI looks sad, so yeah, you're probably going to do it immediately. The weekly, you know, that is a nice bounce off of your 50 area, but it's not promoting anything. It's not promoting anything, and you're actually in a good place to kind of like break out of this uptrend right now, and that would make sense to me, man. It wouldn't be crazy if you broke out of that uptrend in the RSI, chilled for a little bit, consolidate, and then get ready for your next move up. So probably several months before you see this thing take out its high, and that makes sense. That's kind of the same with Bitcoin. So yeah, I think, and you know, this is pretty correlated to Bitcoin. If we actually go correlation coefficient here, do BTC USD on Coinbase and apply it, very correlated to Bitcoin, right? Very, very, very correlated. Has phases where it's not, has phases where it is, but it's been very correlated basically since the bottom of Bitcoin and since this thing's double bottom. So I would think if Bitcoin goes down, this will go down, and I am anticipating a drop in Bitcoin. Ergo, probably the same for MicroStrategy. Yeah. That's MicroStrategy, man. Going down. Probably around 420 to 400, if not, maybe around 370, something like that. But I doubt that you take out this low at, 320, 310, 300, whatever. I doubt you take that low out. But you form a higher low still. If you go below 400, it's really not crazy. I'm just looking more at that 400 to 420 level, personally. And LCID, Lucid Group. Not correlated with Bitcoin. Let's see, we're going to delete that. That's because it's been going down. Yeah, moving up a little bit, aren't you? You had a nice week last week, moved up 25%. Good job. Probably going to be very short-lived. You're probably going to find turbulence not too far away from where you are currently. Let's just look at this thing as it's worked its way down. Right? Top to bottom here, hit your 618 for resistance, and then you went down. Classic. I guess, I don't know, that doesn't look like anything really. Let's see, top to bottom here, didn't even hit your 382. Maybe the relative high, hit your 382, sure, something like that. Top to bottom here, 0.5 area, relatively speaking, went all the way up to your 786, 886 area. Top to bottom here. I mean, could you take out that high? Sure. Maybe you do. I don't know if you would, though, man. This thing hasn't put in a higher high in a very long time. If you do take out this high, I would bet it comes back down still. Maybe a little. If you took out that high, it might go a little bit higher, and then you'd come back down probably to around these prices, around this low area here, a little bit above where we are now. But I'm not anticipating that, man. I'm really not anticipating that. You could, though. You could. But this thing's gone down its whole life. You know, I'm inclined to believe that whatever high it puts in is going to be a lower high, and then it'll go lower. But if I'm wrong on that, if it doesn't do something like this, or, you know, turn around here, whatever, and it does go either at this high or above this high, then you'd probably pull back to around this area here, kind of where we're at now, a little bit above it, and then maybe you could start moving up more. As far as, like, is it a good time to get in now? Maybe. For a short play, maybe. But I don't know. I don't like putting my money in things like this, man, that are just going down. Maybe there's something I don't know about, but I don't like stuff like this. To be fair, the daily RSI does look good. Again, talking about that immediate continuation probably to the upside. That looks really good. You probably do move up. And I'm kind of inclined to believe, let's see. You're at 350 now, at least $4, but I'm kind of inclined to believe you move up to around that 530 area, around that high, if not even just a little bit past it. But we'll see. We'll see as time goes on. If you can't get above that high, then this thing's doing exactly what it's been doing for years now, which is lower highs, lower lows, all in all the same thing. So if you do get above that high, that would be different, because even on this very bullish candle, still a lower high, right? Like a discernible high. Sure, you had like little highs here, but that's not like the same, right? Like this is a noticeable high, that's a noticeable high. Even this little like mound of a high right here, you didn't break that. Definitely a noticeable high here. Kind of a high there in this like phase of sideways, but really I'd say that's your next discernible high, which is still lower than that one even, and definitely lower than this one, lower high. So if you can break that, like out of any kind of discernible highs, yes, from this high to this high, it's a higher high, but out of this like whole movement sideways, that's your high, right? It's like, yes, this high is higher than that high, but that's not how you look at it. At least that's not how I look at it. So if you get above that high, I would say there is hope, all in all, that things could be changing. This could be seeing some kind of macro standard retracement, which would take you inevitably up to like 836, potentially even up to $17 or $21. I don't think you're going to see new all-time highs by any means. You got a lot of proving to do before that's even on the table, but there is the potential to start breaking out of this downtrend if you can get above this high. And there are some things pointing to getting at that high, which gives me hope you could get above it. So, but one way or another, whether you go up here, whether you go further, I would bet that you pull back to near these areas, wherever you end up going, you'd pull back to something around these areas, and that would be a better place for entry for a longer term hold, in my opinion. For a short term gain, sure. I think if you, not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but if you wanted to buy here and sell it at like $4 or just below $4 or just over $4, I bet you would get that play, probably. But I wouldn't hold on to this thing for long. If I was buying it here, I wouldn't hold on to it for long. If I wanted to hold on to it for long, I'd wait and see if we can do something different. Because if we're not going to do anything different, we're going to do the same thing. This thing is not worth putting your money into for a long period of time at all. But that's LCID. We'll see how it goes. You know, definitely stay up to date on that one. TrueCar. Mike here, Mike Burry was talking about how, you know, showing or talking about some fundamental things that to me make sense. I don't normally like care for fundamentals too much. I'm more of a technical guy. You know, fundamental guys make fun of technical guys make fun of fundamental guys. It's just how it is. But you know, I like to be open-minded, and even if my initial reaction when I hear fundamentals is like, who cares, show me the charts, like sometimes there are fundamental things that matter, right? There definitely are. And he made a couple good points that you know, like used cars are definitely on the up and up. People don't want to be buying new cars. I mean, like some people who can afford it do buy new cars, of course, but the used car market, like, man, I was looking at that there's used cars that have gone up in value over the past 3 years. Like if they're well maintained and they're good cars, you know, like a Toyota 4Runner, like they retain their value. Like they go for 40 grand, you know, brand new. There's some that are going for 37, and they're like 5 or 10 years old because they're good cars. Like long story short, the used car market, there's a lot more that he explained than that, but I could see the fundamentals at play for the used car market. I'm game. I could see that. The chart, on the other hand, it doesn't look too good, and I was saying that at first. So, you know, I looked at this before I actually made this video, but to be fair, and I didn't notice this until just now, it does look like you're breaking out. The chart actually does look good. I don't like the volume. I don't like the level of volume. Getting a breakout with this low level of volume is not encouraging. But let's look at the weekly. Yeah, that's weird to me. But whatever, you know, it's okay. Like sometimes you do that. You know what that could mean is maybe you move up, you get some extreme volatility, you come back, and then your volume comes in. Something like that, you know. Who knows? But the way this is looking, it's kind of like it's an area of accumulation down here nonetheless. So I would expect that you do, since you're at the bottom of this area of accumulation and you're breaking out of your downtrend, you probably do move up to this area to find resistance somewhere between $5.25 and $6.10, somewhere around there. Maybe you go a little higher. If you go above that line, man, you better get out because it'll probably pull back soon. I doubt you're just going to blast straight through this. It can happen. It can happen. I can be wrong on that, but generally speaking, with the way this whole kind of range looks to me, before you break out, you're probably going to ping pong, establish another higher low, come back up, do whatever, and then consolidate, and then you'll break out. And it might not take this long. That's all the way out in 2027. Maybe it takes that long, but probably not. I'm not scrunching it all together because I wanted to illustrate a point. But let's see. Let's do some real TA on this now. Low to high. Hit the 1618. Yeah, I was looking at that earlier too, man. That's a thing of beauty. Hitting the 1618 on what is arguably your most significant fib extension. From your original like dump low to your second high there, like that's a very big move right there to base an extension off of. You found support on your 1414, came back up, found resistance at the 786, 618 area, 69 area, I guess. Back down to your 1618. Now you're finding support on your 1414. You're flipping this to be bullish construction instead of bearish construction. You're at your 100 level. I would think you break through it. I would, if you were to find resistance here, I doubt you even fall all the way back here. Maybe you do pull back to like 312 or something like that. We'll look at the shorter term time frames, but all in all, yes, I see what you're seeing. I definitely think that this is it's a good look. It's absolutely a good look. That looks to be a pretty respected line. This is a very good-looking breakout, in my opinion. I just don't like the volume, but maybe there's OTC trading going on. Maybe there's, I don't know. Is there anything else besides the NASDAQ? I don't know. Maybe there's trading going on elsewhere, or maybe it's just moving up with low volume. Volume is like, it's weird, man. Because there's rules that come with it, and out of all the rules in technical analysis, volume is like one of the things that can be the most flexible as far as its rules go. But as far as this range goes, your accumulation phase, you are at the 618, 69 area. Nice. Found resistance, came back down to your 0.5 area, found support. That is nice. I would think that you go, line it up with the idea that you do go to your highs of this range, at least 460. Here you are at 392, at least 460. Anywhere from there, though, to really like $6.10. I don't think you go to the absolute high of this. Probably to like where the closing highs are, which would be 591. Maybe a little bit past that, but still somewhere in that area. If not at a minimum 460. But I would think you kind of do work your way higher, probably somewhere in this zone specifically that you find your next turbulence. Come back, find support on your 618, and then move up, or maybe on your 69. Because you found resistance on your 69 before, you could find support on it. All that to say, the RSI on the weekly does look really nice. Very good looking RSI. Just, powerful, strong, maintaining itself. Here, you rejected the overbought zone. Here, you're actually breaking back into it. This kind of maneuver is a sign of strength. It really is. And then getting higher, the volume is the one thing I have a problem with, but the price doesn't seem to care. So, I mean, that's okay. Price is the ultimate indicator anyways, right? Have no volume. Go up to $1,000. Who cares at that point, right? 786 bounce. Yeah. Generally, with this kind of look where you don't hit the 1272, that's not good, but you found support on the 786. Like, you're looking good, man. Looking pretty damn good. Not going to lie. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, immediate continuation. You're asking for it. Anything, if you were to pull back at all, you're probably not going to go below this daily low here. You're probably not going below 370 for a while. Not ever again. You might go below 370 at some point. Let's see. What was it again? Would it have been this high to low? No, it was the extension. That's right. I mean, maybe actually, dude. Honestly. I'm kind of, generally speaking, whenever you find support on the extensions like this and you're looking to break out and you're going up, you're getting constructive like this, I mean, you haven't technically confirmed support on the 1272, so it is possible if you went up here to this area, it is possible to pull all the way back down to your 1272. It absolutely is. But I would kind of think that you find support in this area after finding resistance in this area. But you could go a little bit below it and still be fine. That's harder to say. We'll get there. Maybe it'll be easier once we have the high to low or the low to high fib retracement. Maybe that'll tell us some stuff. But let's just get a rough idea right now. From this low, let's say you go right in the middle between the 786 and the 886. I mean, the 382 here is above the 78 or the 1272, right? So a little bit below the 100, but again, imploring the idea that you don't go to the 1272 again. Maybe you do. Maybe you do, though. You could. I don't know. Long story short, up and then down, but immediately it looks up, and you are doing different things. This could, you know, matching up with the fundamentals that you laid out, it makes sense to me, man. This thing could be getting ready. You know, it was in a multi-year, basically like a decade of a downtrend. It might be looking for some air, and who knows how high it could go. But I would expect for now you're probably not going to break these highs. You're probably going to consolidate in this area for a little bit. If you break these highs, if you do break these highs, especially if you break that 618, it could be go time. It really could be, but that's not my expectation right now. So let's just keep an eye on it, you know, and we'll see how it goes. Nonetheless, everything looks good right now for immediate upside. So if it goes down at all, it's not going to be by much from here. You're not going to start to see a more significant pullback, in my opinion, like nothing more significant than this, right? Until you get up to these high areas here at about, again, at the lowest, I would think like, I mean, honestly, you probably go to like $5 to $6, somewhere around there. That's my genuine expectation. But I feel like I beat the hell out of that one too. So with that, guys, I leave you. If you like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for coming. I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.